Hey, it's PHILA and you're watching PHILA TV, the ultimate YouTube channel. I'm no cinematographer, just a dude with a camera. Okay, I'm working on the Bordeaux, brilliant Bordeaux MEYERS MANX project, and we are buttoning up the chassis. Today I'm working on the brake lines. As you can see, I bought a few kits from California Imports out of Canada, and we're gonna put those in. I'm gonna show you how I do my bends. Thanks for watching. Back on the buggy project, it's time to start buttoning up some of the brake lines. I have some spare lines here that I use as a pattern, so I know exactly what I'm doing. But you know, it's always so hard to get these to go on once you bend the lines. So here's a little tip that I like to do. Once I feed my first line through, I disconnect my master cylinder and hook up these lines. It's a lot easier when you can move the fitting and the master cylinder to get it started. So then what I'll do is I'll start the bending and then I'll put it into place and then make sure you get the right spacers, because as you can see by this one, it's kind of caved in because they ran it without the spacers. So that's just a little tip on how I do my brake lines. And see, like I showed you, here's the one that I pulled off of here. Well, I pulled it off another car, but I've got to make these exact bends. So it's pretty easy to figure out. I'll start the bends on both of these, and then I'll slide the master cylinder place and bolt it down. Once you've got it bent and you're happy with the direction that it's going to go, you can go ahead and tighten these up. Now remember, I've got a pretty good sized loop on here, but this is a DUNE buggy, so I've got to figure out what to do with this other 14 inches on the end here so I don't have to cut it. So I'm able to swing some of it into the side here. That might help me out. This is a pretty simple bend. This is the one that's going to go into place right here. To be able to hold on to it's a little bit tough, so what I've done is I have the master cylinder bolted in. So I bolt in one of the lines, and I'm going to sit here so I don't have to hold the end, and I'm going to mimic the bend on this one to use in its place. The very first thing I did is I made sure I slid the connector, you know, the fitting all the way up at the end, and put a piece of tape on it, because there's nothing worse than having it slide down, then you make a bend and it's stuck and you've ruined your brake line, because those are pretty tough once you get a bend in it to keep using them the right way. Okay, with the first side bent, I flipped it over and bolted it into the master cylinder. You can see my piece of tape to keep that connector on the end there in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the other bend. And then once I get both sides bent, I bend it over the tunnel itself to try and mimic the same shape as the piece I took off. And there you go. I'm pretty sure I can get that to line up. Let's go put it in place. Okay, now that we got that all buttoned up, it's time to make the one that goes over the transmission housing. So like I said, I've got the original one I took off that I could use for sight. So I got a couple tricks that I use to make some of these bends. I know they make tools for them, which I've had, but they just never worked. You know, I just take whatever kind of object that I feel that I need to make the bend on that size. Like with, you see the rubber mallet here, I could use the handle, the same thing, to make, you know, some little turns. Of course, you can't do this with a camera in your hand, and I'm too lazy to go get the tripod. So I'm just going to make this quick little bend to start it in this direction. As you can see, I've got a slight curve I've got to make there, because it's kind of got to go around the transmission. So I'm going to make a little curve kind of facing over that way. Okay, well, I looked for the tripods and I couldn't find them. What I did is I put it in here and made a bend in this direction, put it in here and made a bend in this direction, made another bend here, made another bend here, all while following the direction of the original one. So now I just got to take the tape off the end, and I'm going to put it into place. These aren't the correct hoses, but what I want, and also have new nicer clips coming, but I just want to put this into place so I could bend it and manipulate it. And once I tighten it down, then I'll adjust it to where it needs to be. So I'll be back in a second on that one. I am not over picky or anything, but I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice bend. It goes in the same direction. It's going to clear everything. Once I get the breastplate put back on there, it'll clip into place and we will be good to go. Got 2 more lines to put on here, but that's nothing. Those are straight, no bends. And then we got some rubber lines coming in the mail. And as you can see, I did a big loop over here at the back T just to take up that slack. And the brake lines are done. Rubber hoses and brake shoes are coming, and I'll address those when they get here. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because there is many, many more videos to come. Thanks for watching. PHILA TV. Ciao.